today. They banned away Wamai and just brought tons of grenades every single round, usually 4, sometimes 6, and one round they even stepped into bringing 8, which is why it gives a bit more context to seeing those bans coming out. The
elevator corridor, if Pamba is still out on the rappel, it could be a bit of joy for him, but I'm not sure that he is at the minute. Shayol playing there. Hyper is going to find an opener for us. It's going to be a headshot onto Envy Taylor. Canadian just pinging out that utility as he goes, forcing players to move around. There it is. I said Shayol out in that elevator corridor. Pamba was on the rappel, just waiting for his opportunity, and boy, does he take it.
Such a solid power position. Already mentioned what we saw from Julio there. It'll be Playday playing it for BDS. You will always find a support player there. NJR up at the top of square, knows at least one is down here. Don't think he quite sees the second, but this could be a flawless round coming in. Indeed it will. NJR closing out with both, and DarkZero with a fantastic start here, but they can see everything on a drone. They know exactly what the game plan is from Sandbox. They know how to deal with it, and at this point it's just the information gathering while someone else sets up elsewhere to make a play. Static onto NGR, traded out just a second later by Bambazoo, and Canadians still having this dancing game, drawing out the smoke canisters. One came out earlier, the second came through, and 2 kills have gone the way of DarkZero.
That's it. All that Canadian had to do there was burn enough time for Hyper to get himself into position, down those blue stairs, and start picking up kills. Exactly what he's done. DarkZero working that very nicely. I'm interested to see how they deal with these soft walls. There's covering at the normal plant spot. Canadian's been down there. They've got no soft destruction realistically to be able to open them up. They just
line, but that is what they are going to be relying on, and you've got Bambazoo looking to play in from above to start threatening them inside of Orange. Hyper finding one onto Envy. This is a great round coming in for DZ. One more smoke coming in, going to ring out on towards Eclipse, who's going to stick this out, I think, unaffected. In fact, no, he is being hit, but he sticks to plant, won't go down, gets away with one.
To that top floor hatch, see if he can get anything going here, but very unlikely. He knows that there's one inside of Archives, gets shut down by Pamba though, and Eclipse will finish the round off. Where have this DarkZero been for the last couple of days?
The big issue is it's taken them 90 seconds to get to this point. That's a lot of time to clear out one hallway.
And JR does deal with the clash. That's going to be taken down now. 5 versus 4. A nice entry for DarkZero there. It was, if they could have chosen a first operator to take down, I dare say it would likely.
The Twitch sees him first. Nadian now knows. The call will be screamed that he's sat on the stairs, and sure enough, Eclipse responds in kind. NJR, another one coming in. Pamba closing it out. It's a flawless round for DarkZero, and sure, it took a long time to get the white hallway clear. Stairs, he could play massive spoiler here. Hyper, Canadian, both moving on past him, in fact charging their way forwards, and Shyle maybe being a little bit defensive so far, but he hasn't got to go just yet. Envy doing some great work from below, and here he goes on the jump up.
That's perfect, because Envy's just taken Pamba down, so Shayol can get himself up there. He could have pushed into corridor if he wanted to, but he didn't need to, as Hyper came to him, made the challenge, and we've just seen it there. There's that ability used in order to get a kill and hit Hyper on the flank. Well played from Sandbox, and the Oryx has been a good call there. Eclipse, however, gets himself inside of Tellers there and manages to find himself a kill onto Envy Taylor, bringing us back to 4 versus 3. But there's still a lot of work for DarkZero to do here. They've got about 30 seconds to get themselves inside a site and into a position to be able to think about getting this diffuser down. And Shayol's going to play spoiler, Des. He's just waiting for his opportunity. He's going to creep up those stairs in a minute, and he's going to hit them from behind hard. Here he goes. He knows they're inside. He sees his man. He gets one. Can he find the Monty? Not before Nova does. And there's the final kill from Static. Much better round from Sandbox. Down into open, just to make sure it's not being covered by somebody in there, and it's not for the time being. He's safe to move in, but Harper gets himself a kill onto Eclipse. Shayol manages to dip away. Pamba unable to impact on the man moving around the elevator corridor. So right now he's gone, and this is it. Sandbox are doing this fantastically, Des. Every time they get picked up, they've got a rotation, they've got the next move. Nova's got his next move, and he's gone 2 steps ahead as well. A kill onto Pamba, a kill onto Canadian. 5 versus 2 now. Sandbox are fighting back, Des. They're looking to level out this half. The diffuser's down cold on the ground. There's 12 seconds left to go. Nova with a third. Can he make it 4? He sprays him down. Can he finish the job? He goes to pistol, but no! Harper takes it from under his nose, but Sandbox won't mind that. It's going to be a
contest into that hallway coming in from Lone Office, and then you've actually got a proper setup inside of open area itself to contest upwards. Shyle, bro, what a rat. sat inside behind the printer. They don't know that he's here, and he could play massive spoiler if left unchecked, and there he is finding one. Pushing out for a second as well, sees one more inside the small office, but Canadian strikes first. So what could have been massive has been reduced somewhat. Static, one back onto NJR, but the work has been done by this roam strat. 2 minutes wasted, 2 members dead on the other side. It's a good start for Sandbox, but DarkZero are starting to warm up.
They certainly are, but the question now comes, where is the point of execution for DarkZero? They're opening up those hatches, but where do they drop? Do they go down? Utility left yet, 2 canisters yet to be burnt. Nova's going to play them from inside of sight if he gets a chance, but he won't, because Canadian just rushes in, Des, and that's the answer of where the push is going to come from. But as I said, they were going into the middle of a crossfire from Sandbox. They had 3 men, all in different positions.
I think he's still unchecked here. I don't believe they spotted him out, even with Iana, Jackal, the Zero, everything, and finally the C4 comes out from Nadian, finds Static for free. And again, we see these mirror windows being incredibly impactful. Hyper sat all the way back, now might find himself with more challenge with Harper opening up from above.
Big mistake there, allowing that death to come in
Child.
from Canadian underneath. You've got to get in there and clear the pulse out. If not, you can't play on the hatches. They're the only dangerous location, Des, and he was just up too close to it, is the problem. But Shio comes back in, rescues the situation, reacts well. This is what we've said. Reaction has been great from Sandbox. They recognise them pulse underneath, they go and deal with it. NJR manages to get a very late trade for those two, taking down Shio. Envy Taylor knows he's there, he's got to win the fight. But no, somehow Pamba manages to win that one out. Hyper onto Nova, 1v3 now. It's all up to Harper. He's got 15 seconds left to go. He's facing castle barricades, he's facing utility, he's facing potentially challenges. But for the time being, DarkZero just dipping away from these fights. They know they don't need to take any risk. There you go. He runs straight past Pamba. Easiest kill of his game.
And really open things up now, where you aren't saying we must bring 2 hard breaches on most maps. You can afford 1. Static, a freebie onto Canadian, who was none the wiser as to what was going on there. And even worse to note, it's a smoke that they've lost to start the round off, Ace.
Honestly, I absolutely love a cheeky garage push. Get yourself down there and just mix it up. For some reason, it's just one of them things that's not always expected, and you just get that sort of a situation. Canadian just exposing too much of himself and taking the loss there. Pamba looking to make this challenge on to man who's still causing a nuisance for himself. There you go. Static finally taken down, and of course, Envy Taylor lost along the way as well. DarkZero still 4 playing out the alibi. NJR is just trying to be mobile here, but look at him, Des. He's surrounded on all sides. He's hit through the soft wall by Nova, and that levels us up 3-3 now. And Sandbox Gaming can finally start focusing on that bottom floor.
By the vault, as if he's still alive from that one as well. Knows the one's inside the vault, but Harper comes on the flank. A great pinch push, and now they've got the left side control. Sees one tucked in. What a headshot from Harper coming through. What more can they find? Apparently, it's everything. A great round by Sandbox and a brilliant west side execute.
Players is trying to get aggressive up onto that barricade. It is Pambazoo on the Kaid. Eclipse it is, however, that finds the opener. That's going to be a big kill onto Harper, taking down the Hibana. So that's removed the hard breach. It's going to be down to 0 if they want to get anything. Here goes Hyper with 1. Can he get any more? Pamba beat him to it with a kill onto Envy. Nova will shut down NJR, but at 4 versus 2, you feel like this is a round that is going in the favour of DarkZero, and we're just getting to that point, Des, where we're bouncing back and forward. Eclipse, he's there, he sees the man. Static has absolutely no idea, gets shut down on the main stairs, and it's all up to Nova now. 40 seconds, 1v4.
I love how they just have the read and they know where they are in these closing moments as well. He hasn't rotated off to lobby, but no, he was coming down main stairs. Unfortunately, a Gon 6 not going to do you too much.
In return, they're going to open the hatch, open the wall, and Sandbox in a position to potentially get a diffuser down, but exactly as I described, as you had that combination. Canadian's going to have to do something here, but the utility's been baited out. Harper shoots out the nitro, the smoke canister goes in, but there is far too much time for NJR to be able to burn down now. There is no other option for the denial. There's 2 smoke canisters left.
Is holding on to those canisters until Canadian makes the call. They're waiting for Sandbox to try and make the plant happen, but there's one also pushing down main stairs. Envy on Charles' characteristic operator in the Zofia is trying to make something happen, but it's DarkZero finding all the kills. Nova hits the deck. Envy, the last one left standing, a solo kill to his name, and has got 4 to find in the round if they're going to have anything to say about this one. Here in comes for the drop. knows that they're all scattered out towards the east, and the toe shots, well, people pay a lot of money for those. In this case, it gets you a very critical point and round.
Here, they won it back in round number 7. It was their first defensive side. They're going to look for a repeat of that.
Oh.
Static, absolutely shut down by Canadian.
Really big start coming out. Static, not the man to be dying out here as well. 2 frag grenades in back pocket, no longer available. Envy balancing one back. It's definitely not the end of the world for them, and at least he's getting himself a second kill in the game, eh?
Previously, try and use that rotation when we saw this side defender.
Child.
They all taking a ton of damage, but somehow goes into elevator, comes back out, and takes down NJR.
I mean, NJR swinging there aggressively and hoping he'll re-peek and get the kill, but didn't land a single shot. When Shile stepped back out, that'll be a real kicker, and one that he'll look back on and say, man, my bad, guys, I really should have been winning that one. That could be a difference maker in the round. I know Shile is on no HP, but it means they can play for trades here. I say that. Nova gets banged off from the far corner. Shile, he just hightails it out of there. Wants nothing to do with the angle for now. Envy Taylor playing on the upstairs. We're down to the last 30 seconds, Tim. This is where things get a bit dicey. They can't rotate out towards the east. There is a double reinforced door present. They've got a yellow ping. The indication coming in. There is someone hanging around by a printer. They're looking for the angle. Smokes might come through, but this drop could be lethal. There it is. Hyper finds one. A second drops through. It's like a leapfrog. But Pambazoo finds his shutdown as well. And Envy, all he can do is look into a pit of despair. It's like the void opening up before him. Doesn't want to go for the drop through. Wants to protect that precious KDA. He's 2-9. Doesn't want to go to being 2-10. DarkZero take the game. It is a consolatory one. They only get the 3 points. They can't fight their way into the top 2, but a promising sign for the NA team to look towards ending their performance on a